going to show you how to start off using a soldering iron. Always have it in a holder of some kind. This is a ready bought one that came with the soldering iron with its fine tip. It's been on for a little while and it's nice and hot. Please don't test it with your finger. Have a little wodge of wire wool so that you can keep that nib nice and clean and polished. You can see the very end needs to be nice and clean. Sew some little strips of fabric to a background fabric which is non-meltable. This cotton here in the background is a non-meltable one. These are strips which I think are synthetic and therefore should be meltable. I've sewn them in on strips to make it nice and firm, and now I'm going to do a little test to see if they are meltable. That dark one isn't. That red one is. That yellow one is partially but not very successfully. The pink is wonderful. And so is the turquoise next to it. The dark purple, no, possibly. The blue certainly isn't, but the maroony colour here, and so on. So I've now established that which fabrics I'm going to go for. I'm working on a surface which is a piece of metallic ironing board covered to a piece of hardboard, and then a piece of baking parchment, so keeping it all nice and heat proof. Now we're going to have a little sampler with the layers of fabric which you know are going to work, but onto a piece of fabric which does not melt. Stitch yourself a little machine grid, and then you can have a little play through the fabrics and just get to know how to handle your soldering iron. You might find it a little bit better to keep turning the material round if you wish to do patterns or make lines in a different direction. But you can see it eats it through. Keep wiping the residue off. It eats it through in the lines that you're making, and you can cut through the layers. Of course the soldering iron will have soldered the layers together because it's the soldering iron, but you can remove fabrics if you wish to different layers. I'll go a little bit deeper with this one. I'm turning the fabric around just to make it easier, and easier usually means safer for yourself. I'm taking that back to the net isn't here. There's a chiffon here, or if I wanted to, I could probably take it back. It has soldered itself to the blue. Have a little helping hand to remove that, and then if I wanted to put little marks in the blue, I could again. Then you can have a really good fun by making your samples so that you've got a piece of calico with a design drawn on it, machine stitch lines through all the layers, and then we're going to have a little fun by melting through the layers rather than slashing. You can make lines. Work this out in advance because I think it makes sense to plan this. Look, we can take a whole shape away here. You can see how a holder is necessary because you need to remove layers before they cool down and stiffen up, and then they're difficult to remove. So you have to remove as you go along. So a holder is essential. You might just like the sculptural quality of the melted gouges, and you can just leave it there. So these make wonderful canyons. Can you see? Again, essential to have a fabric which is non-meltable. In this case, It's a silk fabric, you can see peeping out there. A silk fabric, which is a lovely fabric, as opposed to a calico fabric, which is just supporting the designs. So, have fun!